of yourselves. Now here's CBS.
This is the CBS Evening News. Bob Schieffer sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. Good evening. The chief government attorney probing how wide and how deep the Pentagon contract scandal is going told congressional leaders tonight up to 100 defense contracts could be involved. Pentagon correspondent David Martin has our report.
After a briefing from the chief prosecutor in the Pentagon bribery case, members of Congress this afternoon revealed that the scope of the scandal is even greater than previously reported.
He indicated that somewhere between 75 and 100 contracts are involved, and he indicated that the amount was probably the amount of the contracts was probably in tens of billions.
With so much involved, the government now seems to be backing off its earlier prediction of indictments within 30 to 90 days.
I'm hoping that if indictments are appropriate in the case, they will be secured by the end of the year. If we can proceed at a faster pace, we'll attempt to do so.
House Speaker Jim Wright gave new details about the three areas of potentially illegal activity involving Pentagon employees, defense contractors, and their consultants. Selling one firm's business secrets to another. Manipulating Pentagon contracts to give one firm an advantage over another. Collusion among contractors in submitting what are supposed to be competitive bids for Pentagon contracts. Wright also denounced reports that members of Congress are under investigation.
No subpoena has been sought for any member of Congress. No wiretap has been directed at any member of Congress. And no search warrant has been directed at any member of Congress.
However, a spokesman for Congressman Andy Ireland, whose office is said to be under scrutiny, confirmed that one of Ireland's aides has been relieved of her duties on the House Armed Services Committee because she is the daughter of consultant William Galvin, a principal target of the investigation. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
This was another day of sweltering temperature for most of the country. In at least 24 cities, there has never been a June 22nd as hot as this one. Demand for power soared along with the mercury. Some cities were forced to restrict water use, and what rain there was provided little relief. Richard Schlesinger has our report.
If misery loves company, there was plenty of both today. Records were broken in 23 states across the country, and it was over 100 degrees in 19 cities.
I like the heat, though, but it's kind of hot today, a little bit too hot.
At 98 degrees, it was even too hot for horses in New York. The horse-drawn carriages in Central Park were ordered back to the barn.
Want to get them a little water by the pump before you go in, all right?
The hottest spot in the nation today was Tucson, Arizona, 108 degrees. Hardly news there, but the normally cooler cities along the Atlantic were just about as hot. In Philadelphia, where it was 100 degrees, schools closed early. And at Veterans Stadium, only the diehard baseball fans watched the Phillies play on a field where it was 130 degrees. The Washington, D.C. area set record highs. Air conditioners put an extra strain on the power system, already weakened because several plants are out of service. City officials offered beleaguered Chicagoans refuge from the 95-degree heat in air-conditioned public buildings. And near Salt Lake City, highway crews will have to repair a section of Interstate 15. It exploded after heat caused the concrete to expand too rapidly. But there is some good news.
Tomorrow night we'll feel a good relief with cooler temperatures, drier air, and the next couple of days will look pretty good.
Until then, Americans will have to keep cool however they can and take relief wherever it's available. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
The Congressional Drought Task Force today put off recommending any legislative relief for farmers. For many farmers, the drought is threatening not only their crops, but under current law, their government subsidies as well. We have more on that now from Robert Shackney.
If it had been a good year, if there had not been a drought, the government would have given Dale Martin $60,000 in subsidies, known as deficiency payments, for his 500-acre Iowa corn operation. But because there is a drought, not only is Martin's corn withering, but he may lose the subsidy as well. It's catch-22 in the cornfield.
Our production will be low enough that even though the price is higher, it'll still not compensate for the deficiency payments.
Martin would get about $1 a bushel in payments only if corn were abundant and prices low. If the drought continues, corn won't be abundant, prices will soar, and the subsidy wiped out, and he'll have no crop to market.
The farmer who loses his crop won't get the benefit from the market price, and he also stands to lose the subsidy because of the higher market price.
Problem is, the farm law is written on the assumption of surpluses and low prices. Example, $6 billion is set aside to help corn farmers this year on the assumption of a low corn price, $1.80 a bushel. But corn has already soared to over $3, a price that, if it holds, would eliminate the subsidy on the theory that the farmer doesn't need the help. Example, under another program, a farmer can be paid a subsidy not to plant to avoid a surplus, but his neighbor who does plant and is wiped out by the drought gets paid nothing.
I think the system as it's now constructed, if we did nothing, would fail the farmers.
Some members of the Congressional Drought Task Force want legislation which would, in essence, transfer unspent subsidy money to drought relief.
The best thing, of course, would be to bring rain. We can't do that, but we can bring hope in the programs we have. And if we don't bring hope in those programs, then we've made a disaster, the cruelest one possible.
The government has budgeted $17 billion in farm programs this year. But as the law now stands, none of it, or very little of it, would help a farmer destroyed by drought. Robert Shackney, CBS News, Washington.
The drought has not hit all farmers equally. Some are doing well, and James Hattori has our report on that now.
In the middle of one of the worst U.S. droughts this century, Oklahoma is awash in wheat. The harvest here will likely be the best in the Farm Belt.
We've lucked out. We're just right on the edge of the drought time. We had enough reserve moisture to carry us through.
Luck to Ernie Lebeda because, unlike other states, Oklahoma has gotten enough rain to produce a full harvest, 176 million bushels. It's a good crop in a bad year, but there's no gloating.
We're all brothers in the same business, and when one hurts, we all hurt, and I feel for them because we've been through it.
But not this time. In Oklahoma, wheat is a hot commodity. Because of the drought, prices have soared along with the temperatures. Closing today at this grain elevator, $3.40 a bushel.
Prices are $1, $1.20 a bushel higher than they were last year. We're going to have a much more valuable crop this year in the state of Oklahoma.
Lebeda's 1,400 acres may yield $160,000 worth of wheat. That's 36 bushels to the acre, almost a bumper crop. Farmers with that much land in the drought-stricken northern plains states will be lucky to harvest half that. Another reason Oklahoma's harvest seems especially golden is that it's helping farmers here forget about last year. Floods and freezes turned the '87 crop into a disaster.
Well, we were due for a good crop. We'd had two poor crops back to back. Last year we had the smallest crop in 15 years. Maybe it was our turn.
In eastern New Mexico, farmers were due for a good rain. It came, turning farmland into lakefront property.
We're used to coping with drought, but not with floods.
Last week, a freak storm dumped 7 inches of rain, half the yearly average. Farmers lost 30 to 40% of their wheat and sorghum, damaged by hail. The storm washed away valuable topsoil. It could take years to get the fields back in shape.
No, it's never happened in 78 years. I'm sure of that.
Meanwhile, back in Oklahoma, the early rains were a blessing. Farmers here have made it through another year. But the last month has been hot and dry. Already, the ground is cracking. In Oklahoma, the harvest may be finished. The drought is not. James Hattori, CBS News, Renfro, Oklahoma.
And still to come on the CBS Evening News, Bill Whitaker on the Dukakis search for a running mate, and John Blackstone on plans to break up an old San Francisco couple, Denny and Josephine.
Take a look around you. It's a time to put the best to work for you.
And here's our action warranty.
We're the best at what we do. We're the ones coming through for you. Let's get together. Down forever.
Great.
Come with us.
We love the place. Bye.
Put your trust in #1.
What a team.
21.
Around here, breakfast time is like the playoffs. My goal is getting him to eat right. His game plan's a little different. So I give him Wheaties. It's full of good nutrition, not sugar. He's sweet enough.
Wheaties, 100% whole wheat, naturally low in sugar. That's champion nutrition for the whole family.
Victory.
Dear John, I have a new love, so sweet, so rich.
New chocolatey Black Forest cake from Weight Watchers. Dreamy cherries, creamy topping. I've gone for more. Love, Lynn.
Denture wearers, if you haven't become a fresh mouth yet, you've got to try my Pollen Green. It's got a minty mouthwash ingredient, so it freshens up dentures as it cleans tough stains. Try Super Strength Pollen Green, the mouth-freshening clean. Ah.
Michael Dukakis said today that Jesse Jackson's lack of government experience does not automatically disqualify him as a possible running mate, but Dukakis also underlined that Jackson is only one of several being considered. We have two reports now, beginning with Bill Whitaker.
The Dukakis campaign now appears to be focusing on a short list of potential vice presidential running mates, although today Michael Dukakis said he's keeping an open mind.
At this point, I haven't made a judgment, and I won't for some time.
But yesterday, Dukakis met privately with Jesse Jackson in Los Angeles. Jackson says they discussed the vice presidency. It's reported the Dukakis campaign has asked Jackson for detailed information for a background check.
Clearly, our constituency, this vibrant constituency that we have organized in our party, has earned consideration for that ticket.
I'm saying that he is one of a number of people who will be considered.
Boston attorney Paul Brontes, Dukakis' close friend and advisor, is spearheading the vice presidential search. Last week, he was on Capitol Hill, meeting with potential candidates and Democratic leaders. Sources say a list of 7 has emerged. In addition to Jesse Jackson, Florida Senator Bob Graham says he's also been asked for background information. Capitol Hill sources say other names under consideration: Senator Lloyd Benson of Texas, John Glenn, senator from Ohio, military expert Senator Sam Nunn of Georgia, and New Jersey Senator Bill Bradley. Nunn and Bradley have both said they're not interested in the number 2 slot. The others had no comment. Washington insiders speculate the 7th name is Missouri Congressman Richard Gephardt.
He's trying to reach beyond his normal base, to go beyond the group of people who have necessarily supported him in the primaries, and to bring in other people in the party who, have a voice and who have a constituency.
Jackson is an unlikely choice because some Capitol Hill Democrats reportedly warned that a Dukakis-Jackson ticket would lose. That's why campaign staffers want to see the choice of vice president made and announced before the convention next month, preempting any disruptive wrangling with Jackson supporters before a national TV audience. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Boston.
And I think that he has proven that he should be the vice presidential running mate for Dukakis.
The time is ready. I mean, these little kids right here, the time is now. We can't wait anymore.
I've been set free.
At a black family day in Philadelphia, the talk was of Jackson and the vice presidency and racism.
If Jesse Jackson were white, he would probably be chosen as vice president.
That's why I say I can picture a black and white man in the White House together.
It's not simply an issue of Reverend Jackson's ego saying, I must be vice president. It's a question of issues. It's a question of priorities. It's a question of how America treats its people.
For Jackson, the vice presidency is not a make-or-break issue, but to his constituents, the vice presidency is becoming a symbol of acceptance or rejection.
Unfortunately, I don't believe the Democratic Party, per se, is prepared to deal with Jesse Jackson and all that he means and all that he's created.
What he has done this year has planted seeds for a greater thing for the black people in a few years ahead.
We are the harvest of those seeds, and the time is now.
Dealing with an increasingly impatient constituency will be a challenge for Jackson as well as for Dukakis.
Here we have 2 political leaders who have to pay, for the first time, I think, tremendous attention to such issues as the politics of race.
Those politics are about power, inclusion, and expectations. Betsy Aaron, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Soviet Union tonight expelled 5 Canadian diplomats, giving no reason, but earlier today, Canadian External Affairs Minister Joe Clark said that 17 Soviet diplomats expelled from Canada were part of a wide-ranging spy ring. Those expulsions were revealed yesterday at the Toronto summit. Clark said that the spy ring tried to obtain classified information for commercial and military purposes and tried to penetrate Canadian security services. Charges denied by Moscow. The first U.S.-Soviet agreement since the Moscow summit was signed today in Washington, the first agreement to exchange movies in 30 years. The superpowers will exchange 10 recent releases for showings in 5 Soviet and 5 American cities. In Haiti, the new military government of General Namfi took its tanks off the streets of Port-au-Prince today. The spokesman confirmed that officials of the deposed civilian government are being held prisoner. He said they're being treated well. The U.S. Embassy said at least 2 of the prisoners are U.S. citizens and that embassy officials are investigating. Several opposition groups are calling on the military rulers to set a date for new elections. A number of fires believed to be set by arsonists burned in Israel today as protest leaders called on Palestinians to set fire to Israeli farms, fields, and forests. The largest fire destroyed some 60 acres of forest north of Jerusalem, and 4 Arab suspects were arrested. At least 47 Egyptian pilgrims attending a religious festival died last night when fire swept their campsite south of Cairo. Most of the victims were children. One official said sparks from a makeshift food stall started a fire that spread to more than 100 tents.
The finer things, happily some are affordable, like Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. So fine, it's even made with white wine.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
Grey Poupon, one of life's finer pleasures.
Is your breath a little strong? Then have a Milk-Bone dog biscuit to help scrape away plaque and food particles to give you cleaner teeth, fresher breath. Get Milk-Bone because, naturally, every dog wants fresher breath.
It's a first. The fantastic 59-cent sale at Color Tile. Hundreds of products are on sale starting at 59 cents. Beautiful ceramic floor tiles like this, just 59 cents. Handsome imported ceramic wall tiles like this one, just 59 cents each. Dramatic vinyl floor tiles, just 59 cents. And Armstrong sheet vinyl as low as 59 cents a square foot. It's all at Color Tile's fantastic 59-cent sale, but only till Sunday. Bring the beauty home. Color Tile.
Heartburn again?
Yeah.
Take some Riapan Plus 2. It's double strength.
I hope it works fast. In lab tests, Riapan Plus 2 starts neutralizing acid in 10 seconds.
You look better.
You want to go out for a banana split? Riapan Plus 2, the fast antacid.
Do you get more than you want from your high-fiber cereal, like sodium and added sugar? Get Fiber One. It has more fiber and it's low in sodium and has no added sugar. Get more of the fiber your body needs and less of the stuff it doesn't. Fiber One.
U.S. Supreme Court set limits today on its 1983 ruling that requires equal pension benefits for men and women in the workplace. In a clarifying opinion today, the court said the pension ruling is not retroactive. That decision could save employers hundreds of millions of dollars. The special prosecutor investigating U.S. Attorney General Edwin Meese for possible ethics violations is putting the finishing touches on his report. It's a 700-page document to be made public within a few weeks. It's been known for some time now that many of the accusations involve Meese's relationship with longtime friend and lawyer E. Bob Wallach. Well, law correspondent Rita Braver has talked to Wallach about his controversial dealings with Meese, and here is her report.
When Edwin Meese went through his confirmation hearings for Attorney General, one man was always there. E. Bob Wallach, Meese's personal attorney and longtime friend, the man who is now at the center of most of Meese's own legal and ethical problems.
I am really not a person that, has anything other than Ed Meese's and Ursula Meese's interests really at heart.
Wallach and Meese met as students at the Berkeley Law School. While Wallach became a successful San Francisco attorney and well-known liberal Democratic activist, Meese became an architect of the Reagan Revolution. When Meese moved to Washington with the Reagan administration, Wallach began spending more and more time there too, eventually all but abandoning his San Francisco law practice. He was criticized for flaunting his Meese connection. For example, at a lunch he hosted for influential lawyers at a posh San Francisco restaurant. But Wallach insists that people sought him out to rally Meese to liberal causes.
People who thought, holy smokes, maybe there's an access to Ed Meese that we didn't think existed because for some strange reason he has this liberal Jewish friend. We can't figure it out, but nonetheless there he is.
And Wallach says it was his interest in Jewish causes that led him to ask for Mises' help on a proposed Iraqi oil pipeline that was never built but is now a major focus of the independent counsel investigation of Mies. The plan called for Israel to get some $700 million for promising not to sabotage the project. Wallach wrote to Mies that part of that money would go to the Israeli Labor Party. Some Justice Department officials have charged that amounted to an illegal political payoff. Former Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres has vehemently denied that the Labor Party would get any funds. However, for the first time in an interview with CBS News, Wallach disputed that, saying money was supposed to go to the Labor Party, but he denied it was a bribe.
What were you saying there?
Exactly what I thought I was saying, namely that there were going to be funds that would be paid at some point, and I did not see it as a bribe and did not see it as anything improper.
Wallach also denies impropriety in his relationship with the infamous WedTech defense contracting company. He says he got involved because it was a minority company. The independent counsel has been investigating Ed Mies's 1982 help for WedTech at the urging of Wallach, then working as an unpaid consultant to the company. Later, Wallach got $1.3 million for his WedTech work. Money, he insists, was for legal fees unrelated to Mies. But Wallach has been indicted in New York for allegedly hiding secret WedTech payments to influence the Attorney General.
After I went to work with Well-Built WedTech for income, I never acted as a lobbyist for them before any governmental agency or to obtain any contract.
Mies has stayed loyal to his old friend.
Bob Wallach never asked me to do anything wrong or never made any suggestion of anything that I should do that was improper.
And one influential legal journal has gone to bat for Wallach, but other people have blasted his access to Mies.
Well, it's an unusual relationship. I don't know of any relationship like this. I can't think of anything comparable to it. Secondly, I think Wallach blurred the distinction between lobbyist and friend.
I never lobbied, and he knows it. What I did was be a friend to a man who had been my friend, and it just so happened he was in Washington.
Whether Wallach is guilty of any criminal wrongdoing will ultimately be decided by a jury. Less clear will be the question of whether the Wallach-Mies friendship that began here in California 30 years ago ever crossed over the bounds of ethical propriety. Rita Braver, CBS News, San Francisco.
The Los Angeles Lakers last night became the first team in 19 years to win NBA championships back-to-back. Today, their cheering fans stood shoulder to shoulder for a victory parade. Thousands of people lined the streets of Los Angeles as their heroes passed by. The Lakers beat the Detroit Pistons 108-105 in the seventh and deciding game of the championship series. Orders placed with factories for big-ticket durable goods plunged last month. The White House says that there's no cause for concern because there is still a big backlog of unfilled orders. On Wall Street, the report eased fears that the economy would overheat, and that helped send the Dow Jones average to its highest level since the October crash.
Major appliances that aren't brand new can scare potential buyers away. If your real estate company can't protect them, you're not listed with the right real estate company because you're not listed with an ERA broker. How can you help your home sell faster? Protect the major appliances. If your real estate company can't do that, then you're not listed with the right real estate company because you're not listed with an ERA broker.
It's Lobster Fest time at Red Lobster. We know what you love the most. At our Lobster Fest, we do lobster best. No one else even comes close.
From $8.95, kids just 99 cents.
Have a tempting lobster trio, Mornay, if you're in the mood. Our tails are the best at our Lobster Fest. We know how you love seafood.
Now Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, lobster and shrimp trio just $11.95.
Peerless do-it-yourself faucets come with stainless steel construction and a 15-year warranty. Peerless is also the only faucet that comes with this feature, a free 12-month subscription to Home Mechanics Magazine. Offer good through July 31st.
To stack up the Totals Vitamin Nutrition, it takes almost 3 bowls of Special K.
I'm eating shredded wheat.
You're eating 12 bowls.
Better loosen your girdle, Gloria.
Total has 100% of 9 vitamins and iron and is rich in calcium. That's a stack of nutrition
In just one bowl.
Finally tonight, animal lovers are protesting plans to break up a romance. The romance is between 2 orangutans who have been together longer than a lot of human couples. John Blackstone reports.
Denny the orangutan comes from Sumatra. Josephine is originally from Borneo, but for 19 years they've lived together at the San Francisco Zoo. They have one daughter, Violet, 10 years old.
This is an extremely successful, well-integrated family of orangutans.
But zoo authorities have now determined the genes of Bornean and Sumatran orangutans should not be mixed, so Josephine is being sent away to a zoo in Philadelphia where she can be with her own kind.
To claim this is in the interest of conservation, I call hogwash. I wish I could say all human couples got along as well.
Josephine and Denny have a lot of friends in San Francisco, and they're trying to stop this divorce ordered by scientists.
All we're really asking for is not to send Josephine until we have the opportunity to hold public hearings.
There's a petition drive underway trying to get the city's mayor to stop the move, and the zoo management is discovering that what makes perfect sense to zoo managers makes no sense at all to zoo goers.
I'm not running into political problems. I think I'm running into problems, emotional problems. And I understand why people are very emotional about animals, period, and animals like this.
Most offensive to some zoo goers is the scientific opinion on daughter Violet.
Who is, I think, the most beautiful orangutan I've ever seen in any zoo in the world.
But who zoo officials describe as an unnatural hybrid who should never be allowed to reproduce. With her family thought of like that in San Francisco, Josephine, on the whole, might rather be in Philadelphia. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
That's the news. Bob Schieffer sitting in for Dan Rather. Good night.
Susan's class is at its worst, and so's her headache. That's why she takes Metaprin. It has the same medicine as Motrin, and nothing's proven faster for relief of pain. Metaprin works fast when you haven't got time for the pain.
Just a sprinkle.
A day,
helps keep
odor away.
And now with new unscented, Shower to Shower has 4 ways to help you feel drier and fresher between showers.
Have you had your sprinkle today?
My mama used to scrub all day till our house smelled as fresh as a Carolina pine forest. I don't have all day, so I use Lysol Pine Action. The dual action top squeezes for small spaces, dilutes for big jobs. So this whole house feels like home. Lysol Pine Action, the clean of pine in less time.
In a new survey, we asked 1,000 doctors if stranded on a desert island, which would they want? Tylenol, Extra Strength Tylenol, Advil, or Bayer? Doctors chose Bayer, 3-to-1 over Extra Strength Tylenol. Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders. Now available in coated caplets.
To see how a bathroom gets this shiny clean, you have to go back to the beginning. To fresh-scented Lysol Basin Tub and Tile Cleaner. Lysol has the power to cut through dirt and soap scum, and it disinfects. Try Fresh Scent Lysol. It's how the shiniest bathrooms get their start.
Smith.
And I'm Kathleen Sullivan. Tomorrow, Charles Curalt tells us about his new program, Try to Remember.
Also, the characters from the movie Beetlejuice on CBS This Morning.
This is CBS.
On Eyewitness News tonight, an elderly Stewart County couple is dead, and authorities suspect the murders were committed by some of the Kentucky prison escapees.
And the drought is hitting home even harder as Nashville starts to experience problems. And a compromise tax hike is in the works.
We'll tell you about that and more after this.
What do I look for in a parts store? Quality. Like the brakes I find at Auto Shack. Riveted, built to last, and guaranteed for as long as I own my car.
What do I look for? Price.